Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. WWE SmackDown is set to air from the Unipol Arena in Bologna, Italy, and the excitement for the show is at an all-time high. Nick Aldis has booked some massive matches and promos for the show, but has not been able to keep an eye on the number of brawls that have been taking place on his show. The SmackDown general manager may threaten to suspend Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton if they engage in another brawl on this week's episode of the Blue Brand. Both women engaged in a massive brawl last week on WWE SmackDown, which resulted in security personnel coming out to keep the situation under control. However, things did not remain that way. The brawl between the WrestleMania opponents continued for a long time. Charlotte Flair is set to challenge Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship at the grandest stage of them all. With WrestleMania on the horizon, Nick Aldis would be concerned about the well-being of both women. If any of the stars fail to make it to the show of shows, it will lead to massive alterations to the entire card, leaving the fans disappointed. This may be why Aldis could threaten to suspend both women to uphold professionalism on the show. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk are set to come face-to-face for the first time since the OTC's attack on Rollins and Punk a couple of weeks ago on the Red Brand. The three men are speculated to face each other in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41, which might end up being the main event of Night 1. With all three stars having hatred for each other and being face-to-face on the Blue Brand, a brawl is expected to erupt between them, which could lead to the triple threat match becoming official. With the German fans making headlines with their energy and enthusiasm during the show, it would be interesting to see how they react to three of the biggest stars in the industry standing face-to-face against one another. WWE SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis has never been one to shy away from tough decisions, and this week, he may be forced to make one of the biggest calls of his tenure yet. With tensions reaching an all-time high between two of the company's biggest stars, Aldis has laid down a firm warning. If they step out of line, they will face immediate suspension. But will they heed his words, or are they on a collision course that could shake the very foundation of the Blue Brand? For weeks, SmackDown has been consumed by a rivalry that has quickly spiraled out of control. The two superstars in question, let's call them Superstar A and Superstar B, have been embroiled in an intense feud that has gone beyond mere competition. What started as an in-ring battle of supremacy has turned into something far more personal, with backstage brawls, ambushes in the parking lot, and brutal attacks that have left WWE officials struggling to keep them apart. Despite numerous warnings, their animosity has only grown, culminating in an explosive contract signing segment last week that saw furniture fly, security get taken down, and even Aldis himself being caught in the crossfire. That was the final straw for the SmackDown GM. In a pre-recorded segment released on WWE's social media ahead of SmackDown, Aldis addressed the chaos in no uncertain terms. "I've had enough," he declared. "SmackDown is not a war zone. It is the premier wrestling show in the world. I will not have two individuals tearing it apart for the sake of their own egos. So let me be very clear. If either of you so much as lay a hand on the other outside of a sanctioned match, you will be suspended indefinitely." Aldis' tone was deadly serious, and there was no mistaking the authority behind his words. He has already proven himself to be a fair but firm leader, and this ultimatum signals just how seriously he is taking the situation. The WWE Universe is now left wondering how Superstar A and Superstar B will react. Both have been known for their rebellious nature, and history suggests they don't take orders well. However, with a major premium live event on the horizon, can they afford to risk suspension? If they defy all this, the ramifications could be enormous. Not only would they lose their shot at the upcoming main event, but a suspension could put their entire careers in jeopardy. The WWE locker room is stacked with talent ready to step up, and time away from television could see them lose their top spots. On the other hand, if they comply, the tension will only continue to build. Can they truly restrain themselves until their match? Or will the temptation to strike prove too much to resist? With SmackDown's credibility at stake and tensions at a fever pitch, Nick Aldis is rumored to be preparing a public ultimatum. If Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns lay hands on each other before an officially sanctioned match, they will both be suspended indefinitely. Aldis has made it clear that while personal rivalries make for great television, he will not allow the blue brand to descend into anarchy. WWE is a place for competition, not chaos, and if these two megastars continue to jeopardize SmackDown's integrity, consequences will follow. This is not just a warning, it's a test. Aldis is daring both men to maintain their composure. If either one allows his emotions to get the best of him, he'll not only cost himself valuable television time, but could also throw future title opportunities into jeopardy. If Aldis does move forward with the threat of suspension, the entire landscape of SmackDown could shift dramatically. Let's explore a few possible outcomes. 1. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes take the threat seriously. One possibility is that both men acknowledge Aldis' warning and keep their hands off each other, at least for now. This would create an intense but measured build-up, forcing them to settle their differences in the ring, rather than through reckless backstage fights. This slow-burn approach would add gravity to their inevitable match. Instead of giving away constant brawls, WWE could focus on promo battles, mind games, and strategic maneuvering, making their eventual showdown feel even bigger. 2. One superstar snaps, leading to a suspension. Let's say Roman Reigns, still seething from losing his title, disregards Aldis' warning and attacks Rhodes on SmackDown. If Aldis follows through on his word, Reigns could be removed from television for weeks, or even months. This would not only shake up the main event scene, but also leave the bloodline without their leader. Alternatively, if Rhodes loses his cool and strikes first, he could find himself on the sidelines, missing crucial moments as WWE builds toward its next major event. 3. A power struggle emerges. If Aldis attempts to suspend either man, it could spark a rebellion. Roman Reigns, known for his refusal to accept authority, could use his bloodline influence to defy the suspension, leading to an all-out power struggle. Meanwhile, if Rhodes believes the ruling is unfair, he could seek allies, perhaps even bringing Triple H or other executives into the fold to challenge Aldis' authority. This could lead to one of the most dramatic backstage power struggles WWE has seen in years, with Aldis fighting to maintain control over SmackDown, while two of WWE's biggest names test the limits of his authority. 4. A surprise twist. What if Aldis' warning isn't just about keeping order? What if he's setting the stage for something bigger? WWE has a history of surprise authority figure moves, and it's possible that Aldis could use the threat of suspension as a strategic play to force a high-stakes stipulation match. Perhaps he proposes a final decisive match between Rhodes and Reigns, one where the loser is forced off SmackDown for good. This would raise the stakes to unprecedented levels and force both men to settle things inside the ring once and for all. Whether Aldis follows through on his suspension threat or not, the implications are enormous. If both men obey the order, it builds anticipation for their next clash. Fans will be hanging on every promo, every stare down, knowing that a single punch could lead to catastrophe. If one or both men get suspended, it forces WWE to pivot. Who steps up in their absence? Could LA Knight, AJ Styles, or another top star take their place in the title picture? This could be an opportunity for other SmackDown talent to shine. If Aldis' authority is challenged, WWE could enter a new era of power struggles. Aldis has been a firm but fair GM so far, but if Reigns or Rhodes refuse to respect his ruling, things could spiral into a full-on war for control of SmackDown. Nick Aldis is not a man to be taken lightly. His tenure as SmackDown GM has been about professionalism and keeping WWE's blue brand in top form. But even the best authority figures face challenges, and the current situation with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns might be his biggest test yet. If he issues this warning on SmackDown, all eyes will be on Rhodes and Reigns to see if they can control themselves, or if their hatred will override common sense. Either way, the fallout will be massive, and the course of SmackDown could be altered forever. Will Aldis follow through on his suspension threat? Will Reigns and Rhodes comply? Or are we about to witness WWE's most explosive power struggle yet? SmackDown just became must-see television.